George here, Gallagher RC. This is the OMP M2 EVO MK2 with the new OSF3 control unit. This video mainly is going to be about this particular helicopter and a Spektrum DX8. I found that there wasn't a lot when it came to setting it up using Spektrum radios. A lot of other radios, but nothing for Spektrum. So I learned a lot, and I just kind of want to pass that on to anybody else that may be using Spektrum radios and this helicopter or a similar helicopter, maybe just the M2 or Goose Sky S1, S2, or the new Goose Sky S2 Max. So hopefully this will help you guys if you're using Spektrum. I eventually figured it all out, so I just want to pass it on, and I hope this helps other Spektrum users out as well. So my Spektrum satellite receiver on this side, this is the Bluetooth module that comes with the helicopter kit. You'll use that for the OMP software to make adjustments. I mounted this right on there. It doesn't come off. Same with my receiver. I chose to mount it here. I have plenty of room with my canopy. You can mount it anywhere you really want to. I just had a very short lead, so this is where I chose to mount it. Now, something to note, this is an older DSMX satellite receiver, so there's no button on it to push for binding. So in order to use a receiver along these lines, the older style without the bind button, is I just took a regular Spektrum receiver. This happens to be an AR600. So I plug my satellite receiver into this. I took a receiver battery that I have along with my bind plug, plugged those both in, and I went through my bind procedure to bind that satellite receiver. Once you've done that and it's bound, you unplug this satellite receiver from this receiver before you unplug the battery. Once you do that, this will stay bound to the radio in that particular model. And then you're done with this. Now, like I said, if you have the newer type with a bind button on it, you would just plug this in, press the bind button, and bind it that way. But if you do have the older type, you'll need to do it this way. There are videos out there on how to do this. It's pretty straightforward. All right, the radio side. Now, I will let you know that you can use any switch configuration you want. I have cerebral palsy that affects the left side of my body. So when I am flying, trying to flip switches with using my left hand, it's very hard for me to do. So I typically set up all my switches on the right side if that's possible. I try to flip as few switches as possible just due to my disability. So I choose to use this switch, and this switch. Ignore that this says kill. This is a label for one of my big gasoline planes. I have my model set up. Now, I chose to put my hold switch on switch G. Personal preference, like I say. I have my reasons for doing it the way I do.
Normal mode.
So I'm in normal mode with it down, with it
Hold mode.
in either, because it is a 3-position switch, so either the middle or the closest switch is hold mode. So
Normal mode.
my normal hold switch off,
Hold mode.
hold switch on.
Normal mode.
I put my flight modes on switch F. So when it is all the way back, it is normal mode.
Stunt 1.
Stunt 1.
Stunt 2.
Stunt 2. All the way back
Normal mode.
is my normal stability low head speed, taking off, landing. Now this switch, this has to be assigned to the gear channel, okay? And this is switch H. In order to have stability mode, you need to assign this to switch. You need to assign a 2-position switch to the gear channel. And I also learned that if it is a 3-position switch, I could not make it work. This is a 2-position switch. It works great. So when it is closest to me, when it is flipped forward, I am in stability mode. So when I take off, that helicopter will self-level. When I've taken off and I'm happy, I take and I flip this back.
Normal mode.
I'm in normal flying mode, no stability. I flip it forward.
Stability mode.
I'm in stability mode. It does not matter what I'm in for a flight mode. If I flip this on,
Stability mode.
it will go into stability mode and self-leveling. I take off in stability mode and in normal flight mode. When I'm in the air and I'm happy, I flip this off,
Mode.
so no stability, and then I,
Stunt 1. Stunt 2.
change my, into my 2 flight modes.
Normal mode. Stability mode.
Something else I've done for my throttle hold.
Hold mode.
You can do this, you don't have to.
Normal mode.
If you ever get in trouble and you know you're gonna crash, you're inverted, something happens, I have also mixed this hold switch. So when I flip my hold on,
Hold mode.
it automatically will put that helicopter into stability mode. So if I'm going to crash, if I flip my hold switch, it will automatically self-right that helicopter, put it into stability mode. So at least if I come down, I'm gonna try to come down where the helicopter skids first and avoid the head. I find that it has helped me in the past. That's just a preference. I will show you that in the radio. My rates, Expo. I use the app. My feed forward, my agility, rotation rate. I adjust all of that within the app. My radio is purely my hold, my stability in normal mode, and my 3 flight modes. My throttle curve and my pitch curve, and my mixing for the hold switch. Other than that, I do everything else within the app. So the first thing I'm going to show you is my throttle curves. This is my normal mode, my stability mode, very low head speeds, 0 and then 53 across the board. Much takeoff, hover, land, that's it. There has been a video released, Buddy RC. This particular helicopter, it has an oscillation or a vibration in the rear at certain head speeds, roughly between, I believe it's 55 and 65. You'll know because when you reach that particular head speed where that oscillation occurs, the rear of the helicopter will kind of want to bob and act as if it's vibrating. It was put out there that to resolve this issue was to either lower or raise your head speed a little. By doing that, that oscillation goes away. When I switch from my normal mode of 53% to my stunt 1 of 68%, until it gets up to that full 68%, there is for a second or two that oscillation, that vibration in the rear. Once I've reached my full 68% throttle, it no longer happens. My stunt 1 I have set at 68% across the board, and I also have that set on my stunt 2. I probably will raise stunt 2. I should say that I am not a 3D pilot. I am not a great pilot. I am still learning. Better pilots are going to have much higher values than me, but I find for what I'm doing right now, this is a good throttle curve. And like I say, in the future, as I get better, as I progress, I will tweak and change things. I modified my pitch curves a little bit to not be completely linear, 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. And the reason being is I didn't like flying at roughly 3/4 throttle stick to just hover and fly. I prefer to be just over half. My stunt one normally would be linear, 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. I adjusted mine because if I left it at 0, 25, 50, 75, 100, being my normal middle stick is 65, when I flipped into stunt 1 and stunt 2, the helicopter would drop if my throttle stick wasn't high enough. So I just adjusted my mid stick to 65% to match my normal mode. And I did that in stunt 1 and stunt 2. Stunt 1 and stunt 2 pitch curves are the same. 0, 25, 65, 75, and 100. Normal mode is only used for taking off and landing. And then I switch into stunt 1 or stunt 2. Mixing. Now I only have one mix set up. So if you want your hold switch to essentially, when you flip it, to become auto level, so it automatically self-rights, auto levels the helicopter, this is what you'll need to do. You're going to have a gear to gear mix. The rate needs to be, so 0 to -100, and the offset is 100. And I flip my hold switch,
Hold mode.
gear and pitch both go to -100. That is putting that helicopter back into stability mode. There may be questions. I tried to explain it the best I could, but I learned a lot setting up Spektrum radios. And this is how I set mine up. It will fly good. With these settings in the app, I do have a little bit of expo. You're gonna adjust those as you become a better pilot. So I hope this helps people that are working with a Spektrum radio. This would be very similar, if not the same, for an NX10, NX12. This happens to be a DX8 Gen 2. So I hope you all like this video. I hope it helps you. Please rate and please subscribe. Something else I wanted to share, if anybody is interested. This is like literally $8 and some odd cents at Walmart. Hyper Tough. This little toolkit has all the sizes needed to work on these little helicopters. Got T4 all the way to T10, and then it has T10 all the way to T20. It has your Phillips, it has your regular bit. It has H1.3, 1.5, all the way to H4. I find that this is a good little kit for working on these smaller helicopters. Just thought I'd share that if anybody's looking for some tools.